But then the most common beliefs are based or cornerstoned by the Council of Nicea. The Council of Nicea was convened by the Emperor Constantine in about, it spanned about 100, 150 years, something like that, from the 3rd through the 4th century. And it was there to, he convened this council to give him an instrument for ruling the empire. And it was at the Council of Nicea. First off, they sent off the representatives of the apostolic communities. Said, we don't want to have anything to do with them. They're too Jewish. Hey, give me a break. Messiah was Jewish. Then they adopted what was called the Nicene Creed, which established the Trinity Godhead.
The Council of Nicea was convened in AD 325. It wasn't over a period of 150 years. It lasted about 3 weeks. Constantine had already taken over the entirety of the empire. He enacted the Edict of Tolerance in 313, which gave freedom to all religions, toleration to all religion. And then when Licentius betrayed him, he took over the eastern half of the empire, then established his capital in a town called Byzantium, which turned into Constantinople, which is why the Pope did not like him. But I'll get into more stuff. By the way, the Council of Nicea was not convened. It had nothing to do with the Trinity. The Nicene Creed does not come from the Council of Nicea. That comes from the Council of Constantinople. Just to run things down, the Council of Nicea had nothing to do with what books would be in the Bible. The issues that it dealt with was the date of Pascha or Easter, and whether God the Son was of one essence with the Father or of like essence with the Father. It was the issue of one iota, homoousios or homoousios.
To continue, I think it's 1,426 days. Well, that's 1,426 years or prophetic years, because a day is a year in prophecy. All right? From the time of the adoption of the Nicene Creed, which established the Trinity Godhead, until the publishing of the King James Bible was exactly that number of years.
Council of Nicea, AD 325. The Niceo-Constantinopolitan Creed was at Council of Chalcedon, and the publishing King James, you mean the 1611? That's not 1400 some odd. This man believes that the Council of Nicea took place somewhere in the hundreds or 200s, like the 1st or 2nd century. Moving on.
Thing that's palpable to the masses, because they said that they wanted to do at the Council of Nicea, they wanted to simplify the message. Well, they simplified the message to the point where they could control the population. And if you think what was established at the Vatican based on the Council of Nicea wasn't there to control the population and keep people under their thumb, then give me a break on that one too.
Well, the Vatican wouldn't exist for 1,500 years. So Vatican's pretty new. To control the population, the council, you mean the fact that most everybody just went against, sided with Arius against the Council of Nicea for the next 200 years, or that Constantine never issued the Edict of Tolerance, letting anybody believe or practice whatever they want? Yeah, he really controlled people. it gets even better because he'll claim that the books of the Bible were taken out at Nicea. So hold on for that one.
Look at the Council of Nicea. The Council of Nicea dumped over 22 Gospels to narrow the message, narrow it down, control the flow of information. And what they got was an apostate, whatever it is, apostatic. It's blasphemy. It's not the
It's
truth.
trying to say apostasy. I challenge Darrell Carter or anybody to name one single book that was left out at the Council of Nicea. The first compilation of the Bible as it looks today in the form of a list was the 39th Paschal letter in AD 367. Keep in mind, Council of Nicea was AD 325. This guy has no clue. I mean, he couldn't even be bothered to Wikipedia something. I mean, I do research. I actually care about what, things like the Bible or the Quran or ancient documents say. But he goes out and spouts his folksy wisdom, which is actually lies. You can't call him ignorant because he's preaching this stuff. He's a liar. He's an archon. I mean, a deceiver. How many lies did I catch him in? And then he goes on something about Merovingians and Mary Magdalene. There's more books than that are in the Bible, right? Actually, the Bibles that Constantine had put together, he didn't have the list, but they have a lot more books in them. But they weren't canonized. And it didn't happen at Nicea. This guy's probably never read the Shepherd Hermas, the Didache, the Epistle of Barnabas, Paul's third letter to the Corinthians, the letter to the Laodiceans. I mean, this is shocking. People actually... He thinks he's smart. And every single thing he said was incorrect. And he goes on talking about archons. Not even realizing that Gnosticism hates sex in the physical world and believes that the God of the Hebrews was an evil God, and yet then goes and says, oh, well, the true Hebrews. And wow. So it's Darrell Carter exposed, shining the light of truth on his wild ignorance. And people will believe this nonsense too. I mean, it's crazy.